uno de los objetivos también es que tengáis casos de éxito. Y este año hemos querido internacionalizar. Tenemos que acostumbrarnos también a que las experiencias en inglés, the experiences in English, are important for you. And in this case, en este caso, Anantha from Bosch, from India, he's from India, is going to talk about how to migrate the experience, migrating Atlassian to AWS, sus experiencias en la migración de Atlassian a Amazon Web Services, y también compartirá con nosotros por la tarde la mesa redonda. He will be again this afternoon, this evening, during the discussion that we will have in a few hours. Please give a round of applause. Un aplauso, por favor, para Anantha.
Yeah.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anantha.
Yeah. Hola, buenos dias. Hope I pronounced it right. Before I start my presentation, let me congratulate the Deiser guys for their 20th anniversary and for making such amazing Jira apps and giving us amazing solutions, in turn making the lives of Jira admins and users easier. Today I'm going to talk about the attempts of Jira migration that we did from Robert Bosch, India. A little bit about myself. I have an overall experience of 14 years, in which DevOps experience has been 8 years. And in the last 1.5 years, I have been doing a lot of DevOps infrastructure on-premise migration to AWS. There is a thrust in our organization to move to AWS. And yeah, I've been doing that since 1.5 years. On the personal front, yeah, I live in Bangalore. I have lived in Bangalore throughout my life. I'm married, and I have a kid of 11 months. And I'm passionate about endurance running, reading, traveling, and also of late a little bit into public speaking as well. I belong to Robert Bosch Engineering Business Solutions Private Limited, which is the 100% subsidiary of Robert Bosch GmbH, Germany. We are one of the world's leading global supplier of technology and services, offering end-to-end engineering, IT, and business solutions. We have over 19,000 associates until now, and it's one of the largest software development site for Bosch outside Germany. These are the different sectors that we are into: automotive, manufacturing, healthcare, high-tech, agriculture, and aerospace as well. That's a little bit about myself and also the company that I represent. Let's talk about the business use case. Our organization had most of the on-premise services, which is the DevOps-related services. It's Jenkins. We were using Git, Gerrit. We were using SonarQube, Nexus, and even Jira on-premise. There is a difference in the overall services that we had. Whereas Jenkins, Git, Gerrit, SonarQube, Nexus was all maintained by me and my team. In case of Jira, we had it on-premise, but it was maintained by one central IT team. So we used to pay them for giving us a project space. We used to pay them for any customizations that we wanted to do for the workflows or the project configurations. Let me talk about Jenkins first. We were on really old Jenkins core 1.6. I'm talking about the beginning of 2017. That's when whole of this migration process began. We were not benefiting from the pipeline concept of Jenkins. We moved to AWS. We migrated Jenkins service to AWS. We started using the benefits of pipeline, and we started scaling up our agents and scale down our agents as and when the need comes. So we have a pretty solid infrastructure as code there. So that makes our lives easy and also cost simpler, yeah, optimal. We were using Git. for the version controlling system, and we were using Gerrit for the code review. And as we know that Gerrit, in combination with Jira, it doesn't have an out-of-the-box solution where the traceability can be maintained. So we had our own piece of software which was imposing the commit policies for the developers and hence maintaining the traceability between Jira, the internal on-premise Jira, and Gerrit. So we had 3.5 GB of history for a project that I'm talking about for a customer, and it contains 7 years of history. Migrating this to Bitbucket was pretty simple and also made the lives of developers a lot easy. There was a seamless traceability for the developers between Bitbucket and Jira, since the Atlassian tools, amazing tools. The source code is browsable on the web now, whereas in case of Gerrit, or the Git servers that I had to install the additional components for viewing the source code on the web. Pull request and branch management was pretty easy in case of Bitbucket. Coming to SonarQube, we had 3 projects with 5.5 years of history, which I had to migrate for the customer. We eventually didn't migrate the history of the SonarQube to AWS because of the effort that it required from the MySQL database migration to the PostgreSQL that we had on AWS. So the product owners and the team was also pretty OK with it because they could always refer the history of the projects on SonarQube on the on-premise server and start afresh on the SonarQube server that we had on AWS. Hosting the Nexus servers, the hosted repositories of the Nexus server, we hosted it on AWS. That was pretty simple as well. And having the proxy repositories on Nexus on AWS was also pretty easy. The real tough challenge came when we started migrating Jira. From all the workshops that I had yesterday and the talks we had with the different app vendors of Atlassian, I think I know you guys must be already grinning there, considering the complexity that we are talking about. We had 17,000 Jira issues, 2.5 years of history for this project. The condition was all the issue links, the parent-child relationship of the issues had to be intact after migrating to AWS. The attachments and comments intact. Even the product owner wanted, and the team wanted in such a way that the commenter's name should appear as it appears in the Active Directory. So it shouldn't be a metadata which comes with some other tools that we could use for the migration. The issue creation, updation, and resolve dates should also be intact. So these were pretty stringent rules that we had in migration of Jira. And as I said, the challenges was a little difficult because the on-premise Jira that we had, as I said, is maintained by a different team. And we couldn't access the information the way we wanted on the services that if we had hosted it. So these were some of the options that we explored. First was the Jira Exporter and Importer, which is the out-of-the-box solution that Atlassian Jira gives us. Attachments were on Jira server. As I said, it's maintained by a different team, so we did not have access to it, and the team was not open to give us the attachment separately, and it was also a pretty hectic task for them to pick the attachments from the issues of a project when the server contained a lot of other projects as well, a lot of other attachments as well, so they were not ready to do that. Comments could not be exported as well with the option that we have here. The other option that we explored was Jira XML dump and restore. Source Jira and destination Jira versions, custom fields, plugin versions have to match here. So that was also out of question for us. We couldn't go for this option as well. Native DB dump and restore, there's another option. Atlassian documentation suggests that if you want to go for the migration from one Jira server to another Jira instance, This was also not an option because we didn't have the access, because the team was different, and they were not ready to give us the DB dump, which contained the information of other projects. So these were the technical and also the operational limitations that I'm talking about. If the Jira server that we had was maintained by ourselves, we wouldn't be having all these operational limitations. So of course, there would be technical limitations, but these operational limitations won't be there. So my team evaluated a couple of add-ons, including Deiser's Exporter, which was amazing, and which could cater to most of the requirements that we had here. So what we liked in Exporter Deiser, so the comments were exported to CSV, created, updated, resolved dates were exported to CSV as well. Attachments were also downloaded. So these were the set of requirements that we had for the migration, so we could always export that in the form of CSV and then import it into Jira. However, I must also say that for the production migration of this project, we did not use Exporter finally because we had to compromise a little bit there on the created, updated, and resolved dates, and we could negotiate with the product owners in the team there, and we used some other tool which we were using for other migrations as well. But we overall liked Exporter, and we want to use Exporter for the upcoming the migrations that we are going to do in the team. So what we would like to have in Exporter Deiser is some of the wish list, I would say. I've also contacted the Exporter customer team, customer support team, which was amazing in helping us. Epic links to issues. Maybe this is already there. I'm talking about the version of 2.7.1 Exporter version. Maybe this is already there. I have not checked it off late. And then the sprint IDs are exported to CSV, which cannot be interpreted out of the box by Jira Importer. So what I was told by the support team is that they are in talks with the Atlassian Jira Importer specifications where the sprint IDs could be imported out of the box. So that's it. So overall, the experience of using Exporter Deiser was good for us. And yeah, thank you for being patient and listening to me. I'm open to questions if you have any. That's the end of my presentation.